What's poppin', y'all? Gnarly J in the building, a casual gamer in the building, gnarly 4L in the building, big 4L in the building, a casual reactor back in the building. Yes, sir. Round of applause for him once again. Yes, sir. I got a little something different. I seen this video, 22 interesting Mandela effects. My curiosity's piqued. If you don't know what the Mandela effect is, not gonna hear it from me because I don't know the definition. All I know is there's some shit possibly in the past that you remember being one way, and then, you know, as you get older, you realize, wait a minute, it wasn't like that. It was like this. You know what I'm saying? Some weird shit. I don't know. The Berenstain Bears is the big one, because that's the first joint that I remember, you know, being introduced, you know, as far as like, you know, Mandela effect is concerned. That was the first thing that I realized. You know, I thought it was it Steam with the E, right? But it's the Berenstain Bears. It was like with an A or something after the fact. I don't know. I think they changed that shit, and that's what it was. At one point it was like that, and they just changed it. Something happened. But let's see what these 22 interesting Mandela effects are right here. I see SpongeBob and Patrick, and I think Mario or something on the thumbnail. So let's see. It's like 28-minute video. Get your snacks, baby.
Have we run out of Mandela effects yet? No, but it seems that we have already beat the same ones into the ground millions of times, like the Bernstein's bear one,
right? I just said
that. Of the loom one. I mean, when are they dropping new ones? Come on, TikTok keeps regurgitating the same topics. Well, I take it upon myself to mindlessly scroll through the jungle of the internet to find you new or at least interesting aspects of certain Mandela effects that you may have not heard of before. Now, this may mean that some people just think certain entries are plain dumb, and I don't blame you one bit, though it may also cause others to re-question their memory and existence. Either way, this is Ariel for the Book of Alice channel, presenting 22 interesting Mandela effects. Let's begin. Super Mario Bros. So if you're into the Mario franchise and have played the original Super Mario Bros. On the NES, do you remember the first level of the game containing the infamous piranha plant? Well, some recall that after hopping over the first green pipe in the game, the second one would surprise them because out popped the piranha that the first pipe didn't have. Though this isn't the case. If you go and play the first level, you'll see that there's no plants present anywhere in the landscape. Though many remember always losing the power-up the mushrooms gave them from the question block as soon as they hopped over the second green pipe, but that doesn't happen now when they replay the level. Piranhas do not come out of any of the pipes. Reddit users replying to this state, I remember it being strange there were only plants on 2 of the 3 pipes, but I thought it was the first one that didn't have a plant. There was a collection of NES games for the Super Nintendo called Super Mario All-Stars. The graphics had been fixed up to show off the new system. Maybe they threw in some new enemies to show off its better processor, and make them more challenging for an audience who would have already had at least one of them memorized. Memories can bleed, but I distinctly remember my dad watching us play. You learn right away that if you're touching a pipe, the piranha plant won't pop up. My sister is touching a pipe, she's about to jump on it, and my dad says, "Stop, that plant's going to get you." And then she explains how it works. I was sure it was in level 1, but I could be wrong. I'm 35 years old, and this was my first game I played hundreds of times. I know all levels, and the f***ing plant was in the level 1 for sure. I had played the game with my boy in 2015 when he was 6 on an old Sega, and he couldn't pass the first level. The flower got him every time. For that, I am sure that there was the flower in level 1, and nobody can change my mind. You played Mario on an old Sega? That comment was gold. I had to add it in. But do any of you guys remember?
Right, wait, Sega Dreamcast.
Let us know in the comments. Anybody remember the Taco Bell medium sauce packets? I'm trying to find a picture of the medium sauce packets, but I can't find one anywhere. I'm 100% sure my local Taco Bell in New York City had medium sauce packets
Stop
in the
eating
early
Taco
2000s,
Bell. Fuck.
circa 2009, and then they got rid of them when
But I do
either
remember
Fire came out or Diablo was released.
medium.
I don't remember which. I saw another Reddit post saying it may have been a regional test trial or something like that. I've made a bet that they exist, but I can't find a picture of one. So if anyone happens to have a photo of one, can you please link it? Replies state, I don't have any pictures, but I remember the progression went mild, medium, hot. Then when Fire was released, they dropped medium. I was bummed because that was my go-to many times.
Was it medium or was it mild?
I couldn't take the spice of hot. This happened well before 2009, likely the 90s or 2004. An interesting thing to note is that they do have mild, but they also have medium like the Reddit post states. The only difference is that it comes in a jar form, not in the original Taco Bell sauce packets. Could this mean that it could have existed once in a small packet form?
I think I remember. I thought I remember seeing medium
for years because none of the
packets.
recorded mild sauce packets produced ever had the word medium labeled on it. This video is sponsored by EveryPlate. I always thought meal kits were too expensive for me.
No,
if you're
bro.
trying to save money on food and also want to try something delicious, EveryPlate is America's best value meal kit. The meals are 25% cheaper than grocery shopping, and the meals are done in 30 minutes or less. They plan and deliver that putting any sort of cannot go in the microwave. This Mandela effect comes to us from TikTok, where many people recall that putting any sort of metal in the microwave was a no-no growing up, and that it would cause the microwave to blow up or for it to spark. So they recorded themselves heating up metal forks in the microwave, showing us that nothing really happens if you do so. Some recall that as children they would accidentally leave a fork in the microwave and it would cause sparks and left a burn mark on the metal utensil.
Yeah, they used to do that.
But when they go and do it now, nothing happens. Though many people say that they are getting metal mixed with aluminum in this case.
Oh shit, right.
Due to the fact that
it's actually aluminum
low-key will spark and ignite a fire if heated in a microwave oven. Though this is on a case-by-case basis, as some things won't catch on fire and others will. Like this TikToker said, my microwave caught on fire before from tinfoil in the wing container. So let this be a warning. Don't go put something crazy in the microwave just because of an internet video.
Right. Don't put a microwave in a microwave.
Old videos of people putting forks in a microwave and filming the sparks, claiming it's evidence of the reality shift going on. Do any of you guys remember this precaution? Or do you conclude that it may just depend on the type of microwave you have and the metal you're heating up?
I mean, it happened to me.
In the comments.
Maybe some microwaves just don't do it.
Rereading the book,
maybe you ain't got no real metal. I don't know.
And thoughts I'd share a quote from it that I find interesting. The past, he reflected, had not merely been altered, it had been actually destroyed. For how could you establish even the most obvious fact when there existed no record outside of your own memory? Sound familiar? This goes so well with the Mandela effect, and I often feel this way when I am trying to explain a Mandela effect to someone. How can I possibly prove that what I'm remembering was a fact for me at one time if there is no record of it outside of my own memory? The answer is I can't, and that is the problem we face with the Mandela effect. The SpongeBob box episode. A lot of you may already know which episode this entry is referring to, specifically the one where Patrick has a box with an embarrassing photo of SpongeBob in it, but he won't let SpongeBob take a look,
right,
leading to a wild
goose chase
for the box.
The craziest episode.
Ultimately ends with
so
SpongeBob
weird.
opening the box, revealing a single string inside of it, calming his anxiousness.
But then
only for the ending to reveal that the box had a secret compartment that stored SpongeBob's
it was like a picture,
photo. But the photo is never revealed anywhere in the episode's timeline, not even at the end.
I thought it was.
Many claim to remember an image depicting SpongeBob in the Santa outfit.
Wasn't it a picture of him like at like a Christmas party or something like that? I'm not fucking stupid. I remember that episode. He was at a Christmas party or something. Patrick said it. Or Patrick just said it and we didn't see it. It's one of those two things. Either they showed it or Patrick said it. Go back.
But the photo is never revealed anywhere in the episode's timeline, not even at the end.
Did he say
Yet many claim to remember an image
SpongeBob at
depicting
the
SpongeBob in a
Christmas
Santa
party
outfit
or something
being
like
shown
that?
at the end. One post states, "I remember the photo of that one SpongeBob episode, so I think everyone remembers the SpongeBob episode where Patrick has a secret box with the embarrassing Christmas photo. Well, I remember them showing us the photo. It was one of those shots where they pay extra attention to the design of the
Or
shot.
it was a Christmas
attached
party,
to a
Christmas
string,
photo,
and
something.
the photo showed SpongeBob wearing a Santa outfit, I think. I also think he was in front of one of those purple tree things you see in the show. It was also during the daytime and obviously outside. I don't remember everything of it since I think I saw it 11 years ago." Another post reads, "The embarrassing picture of SpongeBob at the Christmas party. I'm 24, but as a kid, when that episode was released, I'm sure that they actually showed the picture of SpongeBob at the Christmas party that was in Patrick's secret box at the very end of the episode. Now, when they show the episode, it isn't there anymore."
They just cut it out. Obviously, they edited it. That's all. But either they showed it or Patrick said it. And we just formed the image. And, now we know what the photo is. We just obviously didn't see it, but we heard what Patrick said. It's one of those two situations. I'm not finna fuck with my head, bro. I know what the fuck I remember.
No one I know remembers it, but I swear it was there. Does anyone else remember this?
Yep.
Someone goes on to describe it. Pretty sure they showed it. I think it depicts a close-up of him ripping his pants with his whities showing through.
I don't remember
He's spilling a large bowl of eggnog all over Sandy.
the actual picture, but I remember what the picture was.
In horror. There's some sort of chaos in the background. I vaguely remember Gary and Squidward and an Xmas tree with a bent top. I don't know. The closest thing found is this clip from Nick Miss holiday specials they would run on television in 2002, though it's not really related to the specific episode we're talking about. It could have been a reference to it though. Do you guys remember this scene being in the episode?
I remember
The Wizard of Oz. This film has come up numerous times in Mandela Effect discussion forums, describing things that
I've only seen this like
had an entire
once or
pistol
twice,
on
bro.
him. He was strapped up and ready to do jail time for Dorothy. Some claim that it's rather uncanny seeing the friendly character brandishing a firearm when they never remembered him that way. Many also remember Dorothy's socks being white until they rewatch it. The pieces of merchandise containing the exact quote many remember, including shirts and posters. The following are some clips in pop culture that make reference to it, the way many remember.
Fly, my pretties, fly, fly!
Fly, my pretties, fly!
The human kidneys. Think about your kidneys and where they're located on your body. Are you guessing that they're somewhere on the lower back of your body? You've learned this and have even seen it in one of those torso models in school, right? Well, they're actually not located there. Instead, they are found on the middle part of the torso, somewhere near the lungs. Yeah, they're not in our lower back as some recall. One Reddit user states, and
I don't think
I'm
that.
27, female. My teacher had a torso model in which you could take the parts out, and I specifically remember having to take out the large and small intestines to get to the kidneys, in which were located in the lower back. Some believe that the reason why we recall it being in the lower back is because of the pain correlation. As according to Cleveland Clinic, kidney pain is often felt in your sides, back, belly, or groin. It's often mistaken for back pain. Kidney pain can be caused by kidney stones, kidney infections, an injury, or kidney cancer, but that's just one explanation. This one I agree is confused by enough people to possibly be a Mandela effect. I'm 36, and I remember in movies like Rocky and The Kickboxer where people were called for kidney shots, and it always seemed to be a punch in the lower back, right above the hip. I was surprised by anatomical models later in life showing the kidney so high. 7-Eleven. You probably know this convenience store, either in real life or have seen it in popular media. Now, how do you remember the logo? Simply a big 7 and the word 11 spelled out in all capital letters, right? Well, no, as the letter N is lowercase, which some recall it being the opposite and capitalized, though the only time this was the case was back in 1946 through 1969, not recently, as most recall it being. Do you remember all the letters in the logo being capitalized?
Nah,
Lucy,
no.
you got some
I
splaining
don't
to
think
do.
so. I ain't
This
really
has to
looking
be
at it
one
like
of the
that
most
though.
popular lines reused in multiple pieces of media, standing alongside quotes like "Luke, I am your father" or "Life is like a box of chocolates." Deriving from the 1950s sitcom I Love Lucy, the quote is attributed to Cuban bandleader Ricky Ricardo, explaining the accent. The quote, many remember, states, "Lucy, you got some splaining to do," referenced numerous times in pop culture. It becomes creepy when you realize that the sentence was never uttered in the show to begin with, not even a single time. Even fans that claim to have watched every episode have
And I
stated
watched.
that the line
I
doesn't
remember
appear
that
in the
being
series.
on in
The
my grandma's
closest
house a
line
lot.
heard is, "Okay, Lucy, splain," and "Alright, start splainin'," but never the original line many remember. So where's this coming from? Well, like the game Telephone, many believe that this can be credited to the corruption of the original phrase, as it was copied from one person to the other. But how is the quote so prominent and repeated very similar? If this is the case, why were script writers so bold to put it in multiple pieces of entertainment? This Reddit post finds something interesting though, a piece of residue evidence. Reading, in this New York Post article written by Robert Roker in May 24, 2009, it mentions Ricky's line by saying the earliest phrase on the list comes from a 1951 episode of I Love Lucy. It was a line that Desi Arnaz, who played Ricky Ricardo, was to say many times on the show, as his wife entered into one madcap scheme after another. "Lucy, you've got some splaining to do." The author says that the line is said multiple times throughout the show. He even claims it's one of the first quoted television lines in history. The most interesting video I found was from Disney's The Brave Little Toaster movie, a film that haunted many young audiences due to its nightmare-fuel scenes. A character says, in the words of Ricky Ricardo, then word for word mentions the line most people remember. When I was younger, I used to watch Nick at Night. I was in love with the old shows like I Dream of Jeannie, Welcome Back Kotter, I think it was on that, and especially I Love Lucy. I know without a shadow of a doubt I heard "Lucy, you have some splaining to do," camera cuts to her "oh boy" face, or might have
Thought I
been
heard that
followed
too.
by a "Ricky." Point is, it was there in the show and I would bet money on it. Friends theme song. This entry is in reference to the claps in the iconic Friends theme song. How many claps do you remember there being in the song's start? Do you remember there being 3 or 5, like some of the cast even remember? Well, no, it has always been 4.
Yeah.
So this is debated due to the
I literally, yeah, it's. What did y'all thought it was? What? What did they think? What did go back?
song's start. Do you remember there being 3 or 5?
4.
Like some of the cast even remember. Well, no, it has always been 4. Though this is debated.
What the hell? Y'all can't hear music. See, I hear music, so I that was one of my favorite parts of the song. Anyway, was the. Dun, 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 dun. I didn't even watch that shit, but I knew the. Y'all wild as hell.
To the technicalities. This Reddit user replying to the Mandela effect states, "There is 5, but the first one is hidden by the other instruments, so it is very subtle."
Possible, but I for sure. But it can be hidden though, so it could have been. You know what I'm saying? But you just can't hear the first one or whatever. That's true. But I hear 4.
This Reddit user replying to the Mandela effect states, "There is 5, but the first one is hidden by the other instruments, so it is very subtle." This was the topic of discussion while Friends was still on television, because celebs and hosts would do 4 and it would never sound right. I got to be honest though, to my ears it only sounds like 4 claps and would sound off with 5 claps, though
Yeah.
I could get why some would remember it this way. Van Gogh's ear. This one comes to us from Reddit.
And like, if
stating,
you're a producer, like you
recently
do
I visited
4,
the
you
Van
don't
Gogh
do 5.
experience that was touring in my town. It was very cool. I suggest checking it out if it's anywhere near you. Before you get to the room that projected his arts, there were several panels that gave a little bit of his backstory, and I think I stumbled on a Mandela effect. I distinctly remember that he had cut off his ears and mailed it to a woman who had rejected him. As it turns out, he cut it off in the middle of a bar fight with another man. Boss move. And then gave it to a woman he didn't even know that worked at a nearby brothel. Like Go Mandela Fix, it's a small change, but curious if anyone remembers him mailing his ear to a woman that rejected him.
I remember
Well, I just
hearing
looked
something
it up.
about
Nobody actually
him,
knows why he cut off his ear.
or somebody
I was
knows
always
some.
taught he cut off his ear to propose to the girl he was in love with, although it seems nobody knows whether or not this is actually true.
Right.
And, well, for obvious reasons, Van
Dang,
Gogh
man.
isn't here to tell us why he did it. Spider-Man Nintendo 64. This entry is in regards to the simply titled Spider-Man for the Nintendo 64. The plastic game case artwork presented Spider-Man climbing up a high-rise building, looking directly at you, the player. Though here is where the Mandela effect comes in. Some believe that the art found on the game case was also on the cartridge itself. They remember seeing Spider-Man as they inserted the game into the Nintendo, but this isn't the case, as Spider-Man is nowhere to be seen on its artwork. It's simply the skyscraper, puzzling many fans. Some say that it's obviously disappeared, as showcasing the skyscraper alone didn't make any sense. Another Mandela effect pertaining to Spider-Man revolves around his name. Some remember Spider-Man being spelled altogether without a dash or a space in the middle, but if we go and search his name on any site, it will appear with a dash or a space. Apparently the superhero always had a dash or space in his name, though many swear it looks more natural when it's spelled all together. What do you guys think?
Man, I don't know.
Simmons. American fitness expert Richard Simmons, popular in the 80s, was a well-known public figure in the exercise industry, recognized for his wild, colorful, and enthusiastic demeanor. Also popularizing weight loss programs in the general public, most notably through his line of aerobic tapes called Sweatin' to the Oldies. Most people remember him sporting headbands and wristbands in his exercise videos, though now that some are beginning to rewatch his stuff, they're dumbfounded when they see that he had never worn them in any of his recordings. Interesting. Now that I think about it, he really doesn't wear head or wristbands. I tried Googling this, and I found a lot of pics of people in Richard Simmons costumes, which often include both a head and wristbands, but nothing for him. In fact, I don't actually think I've ever seen him wear those, but I think he's often depicted this way in parody, namely in that one episode of Rocko's Modern Life.
Okay, people, let's go. Let's go. Don't just stand there like slugs on a cabbage.
Yeah, it's just like...
What does Brain always say to Pinky? I and my husband both distinctly remember
Pinky in the Brain.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Tonight, we were watching the new Animaniacs, and he says, are you pondering what I'm pondering? At first, we thought it was just a new rewrite, but I decided to look it up, and it's always been pondering. I cannot find anything where he says thinking.
I watched Pinky in the Brain too,
though
but
I did find several memes. That's all I've been able to find, though. I've asked several friends, and it seems pretty evenly split between people who remember thinking versus pondering.
What the fuck?
Pinky and the Brain will be right back after these messages.
She's cute. WB, that's
I personally remember watching
childhood
this series
right
on my PSP on this app called Crackle, where you could basically watch free movies and shows. I do specifically remember him saying thinking, though I could see why I may have mixed up the two, as they essentially have the same meaning. Let me know what you all remember in the comments.
Are you pondering what I'm pondering?
I think so, Blaine, but I get all clammy inside the tent.
Sigmund Freud would have had a field day with you, Pinky.
Oh, like sports then, did he?
They don't even sound
Raggedy
like that for real.
American author Johnny Gruelle developed the character of Raggedy Ann, who appeared in a number of novels for young children that he both authored and illustrated, creating
that shit said raggedy ass stories.
According to legend, when his daughter Marcella discovered an old faceless doll that had once belonged to her aunt in the attic, Gruelle got the inspiration for the famous toy. Gruelle painted the doll a face, sewed buttons for eyes, and gave her the name Raggedy Ann. Sadly, Marcella contracted diphtheria, a serious infection caused by strains of bacteria in 1915, at the age of just 13, after coming into contact with a tainted vaccination needle. Now, many people remember the doll having a very distinguishing feature, that's being freckles. Yeah, many people remember Raggedy Ann with bright red freckles on her face, although she never had freckles on her face of any sorts. Though in one variation, she does have single dots on the side of her eyes, but never full-on freckles. Do any of you guys remember the doll having red freckles? The Vitruvian Man. Italian Renaissance artist Leonardo da Vinci created a drawing
I don't know about that
Vitruvian Man.
I remember seeing that.
Shows a guy in two superimposed poses with his arms and legs apart, and is inscribed in both a circle and a square. It was inspired by the works of the ancient Roman architect Vitruvius. The Mandela effect here is that some remember him having 3 arms on each side instead of just 2. But no, this isn't the case in the original drawing. He only has 4 arms. Memes creating Mandela effects for movies and TV shows, Wednesday, Zoolander, etc. I was watching Wednesday the other day with some friends. I have not seen it before, and we got to the famous dance scene. I had just assumed all of this time that the sped up version of Lady Gaga's song Bloody Mary was from the scene, referring to the TikTok trend showcasing Wednesday dancing to this specific Lady Gaga song. But it isn't. Instead, it's the song Goo Goo Muck by the Cramps.
I've
But
never
not only
seen
that,
the show,
one of
so
my
I don't know
friends
what the
who had
fuck y'all
already
talking
seen
about.
the show also forgot that Bloody Mary wasn't actually from the show. It was solely from memes and stuff. Same thing is happening with Zoolander, a popular meme now. I'm sure you've all seen it. It is a scene from Zoolander with a new song spliced in. Are we entering an era where memes will cause Mandela effects with popular movies and shows? A decade from now, will people be like, what? I could have sworn that this song was in Zoolander. Travis the Chimp incident. This
Right.
entry found on Reddit is
Oh,
in
shit.
reference to the Travis the Chimp incident that happened on February 16th, 2009, when the chimp turned on his owner's friend by attacking her morbidly. He was then taken out by police. Travis was an animal actor, appearing in numerous shows and even commercials. He had been surrounded by people all of his life and was accustomed to them. A neighbor
didn't know he was
even
an animal
claimed that
actor.
he used to play around and wrestle with the chimp. He further stated that the chimp was very attentive to its owner and always knew when to stop when he got too rough. Though it didn't stop him on that day. The story went so viral that it was referenced in Jordan Peele's Nope, which contains a grotesque chimp scene.
Oh God,
The post reads, I am so confused.
I didn't watch Nope yet. I don't want to be spoiled. I don't want to be spoiled, so we're gonna skip that. Sorry. Call of Duty.
Call of Duty
I
map.
skipped it.
In Call of Duty Black Ops 2,
Go watch
a
the
map
original
called
video.
Standoff. The map made its way into the newer game titled Black Ops.
I like
Cold War,
Standoff. That's
released in
low-key a
2020.
solid
This
map
brought
right there.
nostalgia to those who remembered and loved playing on the map. Though upon replaying it, one professional Call of Duty player spotted something new on their horizon. It was a bright yellow public sign pointing away, which he had never seen before.
Yeah, I
so
don't
he
remember
tweeted
that.
about it, garnishing the attention of many fans who, like himself, were denying that it was ever in the original game Black Ops 2. Nate Shots even reposted
I didn't even
the
play
tweet,
Black Ops 2
stating that
like
it was
that.
the strongest case for the Mandela effect he had ever
I
seen.
played that
How
map
can
hella
these
time.
people who have remembered these maps so well for the sake of being professional gamers get this wrong? If you go back to the original map, you can even find this exact yellow sign that's supposedly new. There's literally old recorded footage of them playing on the map before.
I don't
and
remember
even
seeing that
encountering
sign,
the
bro. But
strange
I mean,
yellow post. Why
how
will they
often are
suddenly
you just
forgetting?
looking
Though
at
lots
shit
of people
for real
still
like that?
swear that it was later added on.
Hell no, that
and
shit
that
look
they don't
protruding
remember
as
it's
fuck.
ever being there. Disney's. Many remember an
don't
apostrophe
know, fam.
being used when referring to
Maybe it
Disney's
was.
films. For example, the cover of
Is
The
it on
Lion
mobile?
King reading Disney's The Lion King, as shown here, or Disney's The Little Mermaid, Disney's Lilo and Stitch, Disney's Pocahontas, etc. But it has never been spelled out like this on the front covers of those popular Disney titles.
What are you
It
talking
has
about?
always been spelled as Disney Aladdin, not Disney's Aladdin. Disney's The Lion King never existed. It has always been Disney The Lion King, which needs The Lion King an apostrophe forgetting. Though lots of people still swear that it
Take
was
that back.
later added on.
Hold up.
And that they don't remember it's ever being there. Disney's. Many remember an apostrophe being used when referring to Disney's films. For example, the cover of The Lion King reading Disney's The Lion King, as shown here, or Disney's The Little Mermaid, Disney's Lilo and Stitch, Disney's Pocahontas, etc. But it has never been spelled out like this on the front covers of those popular Disney titles. It has always been spelled as Disney Aladdin, not Disney's Aladdin. Disney's The Lion King never existed. It has always been Disney The Lion King, which just sounds off. Was this a simple grammar mistake? Do you guys remember it being Disney's? Now, what's weird is that things like
I don't
Disney's
have
books
anything
and
Disney
games
in here,
are
bro.
titled the way many are remembering it, like The Little Mermaid, the game. For
Nah.
the
Ain't it Disney's? Disney's. Ain't it Disney's? Don't. I I don't have anything. I'm gonna have to see if I can find something, bro. Disney's.
Genesis is titled Disney's The Little Mermaid, and the Disney Aladdin game for the Genesis is titled Disney's Aladdin. I mean, it's like they're purposely doing this.
Right.
Who's they? I don't know, Illuminati? Certain scientists?
the
It could be
creators.
anyone, even our own brains. Mandela effect and mass gaslighting theory. Disclaimer. I'm a full believer that the Mandela effect is real and that there is a multi-dimensional component to it. If that bothers you, I don't care. Go watch CNN or something, okay?
Facts.
So I was
I'm
born in
looking for a
1990.
shirt.
I distinctly remember the Bernstein Bears, Luke,
Facts.
I'm Your Father, and Sex and the City. And I grew up in New York City during the peak years of that show. It was
Sex in the City. Sex
among
in
many
the
other
City.
examples.
Sex in
It's
the
even
City.
weirder to me that the official explanation that so many individuals are willing to co-sign is just, nope, you're wrong, your memory is unreliable, etc. This is gaslighting 101. Gets people to question their memories, question their reality.
Well, this
rewrite
shirt
history,
just
and then
say
accuse
Disney.
them of not having an accurate perception. It crossed my mind that the deliberate use of the Mandela effect would be an incredibly convenient way to create a chasm between those who remember the quote-unquote old world and those who are born into this quote-unquote new world, rewrite historical events 30, 50 years from now, and show that those who remember things being different are either dead or crazy. Slowly and deliberately break down people's ability to trust their own minds, much the way our current social model understands how narcissism works on the individual
This
level.
is a
And
war.
of course, that would make us much more vulnerable and make it easy to control us through other forms of propaganda, as well as to discredit anyone who dissents from official narratives. Just some food for thought.
Facts.
The Rock quote. Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?
Can you
This is a famous
smell
quote attributed to The Rock during this
what The Rock
WWE era.
is
Though
cooking?
now he's more known for starring in big Hollywood movies. Many were fans before his celebrating
The Rock said.
and remember confused as it
Facts.
changes the meaning to the phrase. It's even quoted the wrong way on merchandise, news articles, and more. Even the description of videos presenting the quote have it wrong. Taking a look at the actual video, he himself states, "If you smell what The Rock is cooking."
No, it is. It's not. Can you smell what the rock? It's actually not. Can you smell what? It is. If you smell, it is. If you smell, but for some reason we were saying, "Can you smell?" Because just what it sounded like at the time. You know what I'm saying? But it is. But like, we were asking our friends, "Can you smell what the Rock is cooking?" So it just kind of went with that. But like, he was just saying, "If you smell what the Rock is cooking," you know, he was, because he's the Rock. But like, we was just saying like, "Yo, can you smell?" You know what I'm saying? Because he was saying if, you know.
And that was it. Thank you so much for watching the video. Consider subscribing if you like
that's
content
it?
like this. And
Damn, I thought we were gonna get a little
phrase.
bit more than
It's
that.
even quoted the wrong way on merchandise, news articles, and more. Even the description of videos presenting the quote have it wrong. Taking a look at
Right,
the
he's-
actual video, he himself states, "If you smell what The Rock is cooking." And that was it. Thank you so
Well, he
much
got
for watching
copyrighted
the
or something?
video. Consider subscribing if you like content like this, and feel free to check out my other videos. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Peace, love, and happiness. Yeah, bro. The Rock one, yeah, like it's he does say "if you smell," but I do remember saying "can you smell." I do remember that. Spider-Man. I think I always remember the dash. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's just the new shit. But not like I don't remember a dash in every form, like, you know, in every text or whatever. I don't know. If any of these weirded you out, that SpongeBob one for sure. I was like, no. I remember. Maybe they didn't show the picture, but Patrick said it, bro. I remember him say. I know what the picture was. Friends. It's 4 claps, but it could possibly be 5. It's just hidden under the other instruments. I make beats so I can understand. You know, maybe somebody putting 5, but you know, and having a sound that you might not hear on this particular beat, but you hear it on this one or whatever. But like, I don't, even if you was like a producer, like, why you putting 5 in there? It's like, so you like, it must be like a gradual, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it must be something like that. It's gotta be, because that's the only way that works. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't do 3, you don't. Like, no, like, fuck no. If y'all like this video and y'all like shit like this, hit that subscribe, bro. Hit the bell. Alright, I upload very sporadic. Okay. Bear with me. Peace, love, and happiness. Who did the video? Let's shout out to them and watch the original, because I skipped. So just go watch the original. Book of Veils. Velis. Sorry. Appreciate you. Let's go. Get a like. Peace, love, and happiness, y'all. I'm out.
But I'm what you need. I know my high just started, but I hit a peak, yeah.